And welcome to our tutorial in recording voice narration with PowerPoint. Our objectives for this tutorial are to prepare your computer for audio recording, set audio recording levels, test your voice level, record audio narration directly into PowerPoint, and import audio files into PowerPoint. Okay, so if you remember from our tutorial earlier on file management, I had created a file system right here on my desktop, and I'm going to go back to that file system, and I saved this project, this PowerPoint project, on my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and that's what I'm going to use to record audio. So here we are in PowerPoint. Now, recording audio is pretty simple, but the first thing we want to do before we record audio into PowerPoint is set our levels. So I'm just going to minimize my PowerPoint right now, and I'm going to go back to my file system, or not my file system, but to my desktop. I'm going to close the file system, and I'm going to go to my system preferences. Now, if you're on a PC, you can go into your tools on your PC, and you can adjust your audio levels coming in on a PC as well. But since we have a Mac, I'm going to go through the process here. It's similar on a PC, but a little bit different. So on Mac, I'm going to go to Sound, and as you can see, I have input selected here. There's different things you can select, the output and the input. So I have headphones, a headset plugged in. So you're seeing here a headphone port, and your input as well is the microphone port. It's an external microphone because I do have a headset. Now, as I talk, you can see these blue lines filling up the audio recording level meter here. So as you look at it, you can see it keeps bumping on the end of this. So what's happening is it's probably recording a little bit too loud. So I'm going to back this down to where, while I talk at my normal level voice, it's not banging up against the edge here. It's okay if it does it occasionally, but you really want your level to be in this area through most of the time you talk. So somewhere between 1/2 and 3/4 is a good place. An occasional peak over here is fine. So that's how I set my audio level. Now, if I set it way down here, if you notice all of a sudden it's very low, you might not hear me. And if I set it here, it's way too loud. So I'm just going to back this down. About 1/2 seems to be good for what we're doing here. So my audio level is now set. So the next thing we're going to do is open our PowerPoint project now that we're ready to record. And the process is simple at this point. We can go ahead and put some text in here. There we go. Now we have a little title in there. Always nice to have a title. So we're all set to go. All we have to do to record audio is go to Insert, Audio, and Record Audio. We have some other options here, and we'll talk about those later. But record audio is what we're going to do. I'm going to click on the record button. You notice we have some other buttons here: stop, pause, play. Record's the main one. Down here we'll need later. Notice the sound input device is a built-in input external microphone. That's what we had set up in our preferences before we opened PowerPoint. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record. Welcome to our tutorial on recording audio in PowerPoint. And I'm going to hit stop. And once we've stopped, we can go ahead and hit save. And here we go. We have a nice little audio icon here. And when we click on that, we can go ahead and play back our audio. Welcome to our tutorial on recording audio in PowerPoint. Notice you get a little bit of a hissing sound, a clicking sound in there. That's because in Camtasia I have the internal audio and the external audio set at the same time. So you're getting a little bit of extra feedback there. So that's what you're noticing there. You shouldn't hear that in your own recording. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to import some audio, just so you know how how to deal with that. And last but not least, let's go ahead and add another slide. So let's insert new slide. And this one we'll call importing audio. I don't got to type any more text in here. The main thing is we learn how to import audio. There's a couple ways to do it. In some cases, you can actually open your file and you could drag and drop your audio file into PowerPoint. And it may or may not work depending on your system and what you have set up. But the most accurate way to do it is we're going to go right back to the Insert, Audio, and we're going to go to Audio from File. Now, while you weren't looking earlier, I had this file system set up on my desktop, if you remember, and I had slipped the file into my audio music folder, and there's a M4A file. Now, there's different kind of file formats that you can import into PowerPoint, M4A being one of them, which is a popular compression for audio nowadays. MP3 is another one. The best way to go is, if you have it, is a WAV file if you have a PC, and if you have a Mac, an AIFF or a WAV file will work fine. Those tend to follow and embed into PowerPoint. Your MP3s and your compressed versions will not embed into PowerPoint. And when I say embed, that means when I put the file in here, when I save PowerPoint, I can just take that PowerPoint file, move it to another computer, and the audio will follow with it. That's embedding. So depending on your system, depending on your PC, Mac, what kind of file, audio file you put in there, that file may or may not follow. That's another reason why you have to have good solid file management. So again, we see this icon here, and when we have the icon, we can go back and play it, and I had some music here. So you can see we have some very pleasant music there, and it was just, I just picked something to put in there for us to see. Now, some other things you want to know about audio when you're in PowerPoint. When you click on the icon, notice up here, you have these buttons up here that you can deal with audio. So there's not a whole lot you can do, but these are, here's your playback. So that's how you play back the audio, preview it. Let me go back and click on here. Other options, we have start on click. So say I go from page 1 to page 2, and we have the audio set up for on click. The audio will not play back unless we click on it. Other options we have, play across slides. So say this music, I wanted it to start at the beginning of the PowerPoint slide and play to the end. It would play across the slides. The other option is automatically. So if I click on automatically, if I transition from this slide to this slide, once I hit playback, then let's play the slideshow. And then if I go to the next slide, it starts automatically. I don't have to click on it. So that's a nice little option that you have for the audio. So if you're setting up, audio to play on each slide, you can go ahead and have it start automatically when it gets to the new slide, and when that slide ends, or when the audio ends, you move on to the next slide and automatically start the next one. So that's a nice way to quickly transition from slide to slide and have your audio play across them all. So those are your options there. And then one other place you have playback options. So you can rewind after playing, loop until stop, hide icon during show. Now I like this hide icon during show. So if I click on hide icon and I go back here and go to play the slideshow again, notice when I click to the next slide, the icon's gone. So we're not seeing that audio icon.